What is the reality of a minority, particularly the political minority? In such a challenging reality where income resources are very scarce, what does a minority do? Do we live in a survival mode? Is it the survivor of the fittest? Or do we come together and join forces and support and uplift one another? I'm your host, Ibrahim.
And I'm your host, Amira.
And this is UTTN, the podcast.
أهلا وسهلا مهدي، كيف حالك؟ How are you?
I'm good. I'm good to meet you, Amira, and good to see you again, my friend Ibrahim.
Before, I know we're going to jump right into the first segment, but I just want to say that I'm going to first, we have two 48ers, two men, and me sitting here in the corner. I'm going to be fighting for my voice, and I just want both of you to be aware of that. So I'm going to interrupt both of you.
Your voice is important, Amira. You're not interrupting. Your voice is needed in the episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, Mahdi, for joining us. For me, it was really important to talk about the reality of Palestinian citizens of Israel and what do we do within our own reality and activism happening within our community. And without further ado, I want our audience to get to know our guest. And the way that we're doing our first segment, which is Who Are You? We'll ask every one of our guests to give one word that define who they are. So we're going to ask you 3 times, who is Mahdi? And each time we want you to just give us an answer with one single word. And at the end, we're going to talk about all these words and what do they mean to you. Without further ado, who are you, Mahdi? You ready?
I'm not, but let's see if I can figure out a few words that could define me very well.
It'll be fun. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
I think so. Let's try to think about usually I used to speak about myself in more than 3 words, but I will choose the first word. It could be resilient.
No worries. It's a podcast. It's a one word, but then we're gonna give you time to speak.
So the second word could be for you maybe is taking for granted that defines us, and you have started to identify me or your guests as Palestinian citizen of Israel. But I think that this identity should be more emphasized. So I will be identifying myself the obvious Palestinian.
I'm a Palestinian. Who are you, Mahdi?
Then for the third word, I will take more the professional approach and say that I'm initiator.
I'm an initiator. I'm a Palestinian. I'm an initiator.
And a resilient.
First of all. Resilient Palestinian initiator. This actually can be a slogan. This can be your title.
I'd like to know why you chose is there a reason for the sequence?
I mean, I hope the sequence of resilient Palestinian won't be taken as something wrong or bad or threatening. But regarding the word resilient, Amira, it's a word that defined me since I was a child. When I was in the first grade, they put me in a class with the mentally challenged kids.
Where are we talking about?
We're talking about Barta village.
Do you want to tell our audience where Barta is located?
Yeah, Barta is a village that split between 2 sides, and Bart in Israel and the other Bart in Palestine, and there is no borders. You can pass from the one side to the other without having any checkpoints, or you can feel the differences, but you will not have the suffering of passing from the Palestinian side to the Israeli side. We will go into that when we get to the part of Palestinian, the part of why I define myself Palestinian, why I'm emphasizing that I'm Palestinian. But regarding resilient, as I said, when I was in the first class, they put me with mentally challenged kids, and 1 month later, my teacher in the undergarden came to replace the teacher in the first.
So a substitute?
Yeah, she was just to replace her, she's teacher, and Mahdi, what are you doing here? I used to speak, to read, and to calculate when I was 3 years old, and she knew me. And it appears that they choose me and they put me in that class because of the record of my family. My cousins, they wasn't that good, and they said, no, that's your place. And since then, I'm struggling, and I'm resilient to defending myself from stereotypes and stigmas that happens to me through my life until now. Now, later on in the third class in the elementary school, I got
In third grade.
in the third grade. Sorry, in the third grade in the elementary school, they made an exam, like governmental exam, to choose who is the kid that goes to the talents program, and I got the highest grade. And then they choose another girl, not me, because they didn't believe in me. They didn't believe that Mahdi from that family, from that place, will go to that talent. He didn't deserve to be there. And my family was so simple family. Like my father was a factory worker. My mother was a housekeeper. So they were involved. My mother did a lot to me to be who I am today, to become who I am today. But they wasn't like they didn't know. And then 3 months later, the teacher who were teaching me math called my mother. She couldn't keep this in her chest, and she called my mother and told her that, but they didn't do anything. And that girl been chosen because it's related to one of the in the teachers and into the education sector. Now this is story like only a taste of what I've also felt later in the university, when I also there I've been resilient. Now different type, because in Barta you're in a little village, and that's what we didn't like.
You're within your own community.
Yeah, you're in
there are no
community.
differences.
You don't go like I didn't know people in Nazareth. I didn't meet people in other places. I only met people in Msherfe, which is a village of my mother, and people in my village. And in the university is the first time where I saw people like from the north, and they looked at me as a West Banker, or by our Arabic word, Dafawi.
Yeah.
And I'm also there. I've been judged by stereotypes. Do you have a Israeli nationality? Do you have a passport? Do you have that? Do you speak Hebrew? Like, dude, I'm like literally at the same school, that like same at least maybe not the same quality, but at least the same curriculum. And we've done the same things, and I've done psychometry and all that. But it was difficult for me to find friends because I was, they looked at me as an outsider. But then I have to, bless myself and to show to show them, resilient, to show them that I deserve where I belong, and I continued to fight all the stereotypes. Now, this is more in the personal side, but also in the academical side. When I went to the university, I was studying computer science. Now, I wanted to be a lawyer. Since I was a kid, I also wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to also be a computer science. Like I was all the time. I was wondering what I want to be, and these two options. I'm surprising you, not a doctor. Most of the people, from their childhood think to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a doctor. I wanted to be either a lawyer or a computer science. I liked coding and I liked a computer. Now, I studied computer science and I said, no, I want to be a lawyer. So I didn't leave my computer science degree. I kept it and I added law. And then in the first year of the law school, I met some people in advanced years in the law school. And I told them, like, I like the subject. I like the law school. I want to have good grades. I want to be in the Dean Excellence list. And they just laughed. You can't be in Dean. You're from Barta. You're an Arab. It's only for Jewish. There is no Arab ever have been in the Dean list. Excellence Dean is in their first year. Because of the language barriers, because of the mentality, because of who you are and all that. Now, they challenged me again. I said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work hard to be in the dean. Not because I'm good. I'm like, I was a smart student. So they just challenged me, and I liked such type of challenge. I took it from the personal side now to the academical side.
Yeah, you wanted to prove them wrong.
Yeah, and I wanted to prove them wrong, as I did through my childhood and to my when I were a teenager. Now, later in the end of that year, I got the dean list, and I had like one of the highest grades in the faculty. And I give hope to the next generation, to the Arab next generation, that you also can do it. And it's not exclusive for Jewish students to be in the dean list and to get high grades.
I asked about resilience because it's interesting that you bring it from that point of view, in such a positive, normal day-to-day point. Usually when I'm like in rooms, both locally and internationally, where people, non-Palestinians, talking about Palestinians, saying, oh, it's such a shame. It's been 2 years and we feel that Palestinians are losing their resilience. And it's as if it's something that we have and not the fact that we don't have any other choice. Like what is the choice other than going forward? You don't have we don't have the privilege of being a majority, of like going somewhere to having an own a state, or like as different identities in Palestine or in Gaza or in the West Bank. It's like there is no other choice than to be resilient. So it's something that a lot of Palestinians really hate that word. And no, it's as if it's a choice. But it's not a choice. It's something that's forced upon an entire group of people because what we're born into. But the fact that you've brought it in a way, from an angle that's so personal, that's so relatable to every single person growing up in a kind of like as an outcast, somebody with so many stereotypes that are given to them when they're born. What about Palestinian?
Exactly. So I will take it to the national level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I totally agree with you. We are all resilient. You are resilient. You are Ibrahim also resilient. And I'm in the national level. I will also like make the dots connected, and I'll take the professional level and the personal level, and the national level at one great example. We are all resilient because we are staying in this place. With the fact that with the fundamental fact and the truth that we are staying here and we are not leaving this place, we are resilient. There is a lot of pressure on us, the good people, to leave this place. And I've got a lot of offers, Amira, from USA, London, and other places around the world. Come work with us. Good budget, things that we dreamed for. A great salary, and you have a budget for for vacations, and you have like a great house, and you enjoy life, party, and all that. And I got great offers until now. I'm keep getting offers to work in firms outside.
It's the best and worst opportunity you can get. That choice. Do I stay? Do I leave?
Exactly. But I choose to stay resilient. And you choose to stay resilient. I believe all of us can find a calmer place, more quiet, and we can live great lives. We are all professionals. We can do that. We can find this place. But a lot of people choose to stay here. And by staying here without doing anything, we are already resilient. And this is also a message for the professionals. I know I do not judge. I don't want to judge anyone, and it's your own choice to choose a better life for your kids. And it's you. I totally agree and accept that. But if you can stay here and raise your child here, and you save a generation of great people. So I'm asking him from this platform also. If you cannot leave, don't leave. Just stay resilient at this place. Regarding the Palestinian, Ibrahim, here is like a kind of interesting thing I want to mention.
Tell me.
It wasn't obvious for me to mention that I'm Palestinian. Not because I was suspecting my identity. No, I really believed that. But I believed it's for the stronger people. For those who are in the front lines.
Yeah.
For those who struggles. And I want to mention Barta here, split it between two sides. Now, I have family relatives, cousins, living in the other side, and I saw their lives. It was so much difficult, much more than my life. They didn't have the healthcare, they didn't have the infrastructure that I have, they didn't have the education that I got, and they didn't have the freedom, the basic life rights. And I got all of that, and I was looking at them. I'm not the same. I thought that the word Palestinian is unearned. It's like kind of word that it's only for those who are in the front line who are really struggling. And I felt a bit shy to say that I'm Palestinian. But then later, Ibrahim, I found that we are also struggling, but in different ways. Maybe we're not struggling from occupation, like literally occupation, but more kind of quiet, kind of systematic discrimination that really harm all of us. And the way that all entire generation of professionals thinks and want to leave this place is not because they choose that. It's because of the pressure the systematic discrimination has put in them to leave. And then I found that because of the crimes that's happening in this place, in the Arab community within Israel, and it's a policy, it's a deliberate decision to keep the crimes within us, to keep these crimes, to keep us destroying the community from within. And we have the highest crimes rate, like you mentioned this in your last video, and I want to emphasize that it's about 16 times more than the Jewish community. Now they will say, no, it's not systematic. You guys are violent. No, we're not violent.
How much is the crime rate in the West Bank?
Exactly. It's
10 times less.
The last statistic says that the homicides in the West Bank, it's almost the same as in the Jewish community in Israel. And the West Bank people are the same. Like, my relatives are living there. We are no different. And I see in Barta village, the Israeli side, there is less reinforcement of law than in the Palestinian side. Whatever you can take this from different angles, we are in a systematic discrimination. They want us to leave. So in the recent 2 years, I felt I'm more Palestinian than ever. And I want to emphasize that. And that's why it was very important for me to mention the word Palestinian, because it wasn't that trivial for me.
I think it's when we talk about this a lot, like the name Unapologetic, the U and the UTTN, is actually because of that. Because for so long, systematically, we've been convinced from our own community and from the international community and from the occupation that being a Palestinian is a spectrum of suffering. The more you suffer, the more Palestinian you are. The less you suffer, then you don't have the certification, you don't have the street credit for your identity, for who you are. When, like, I would ask myself, like, do I have the quote unquote privileges that I have or the advantages that I have? And the answer is by chance. The answer is sutfe. Because my family was where they were in 48 or in 67, but there is no difference between the people here and the people on the other side of the wall. And I also want to say that, like, because usually people use it as like, no, it's because you're under the state of Israel, and because you're a part of Israel, look how Israel is great for the land. It made the desert bloom, but because the Palestinians are quote unquote running, but it's an occupation, running the West Bank, that's why it doesn't function well, because of the Palestinians, not because of the occupation. So, and I also want to say that we're also blamed sometimes for using the word Arab. We're blamed for saying the word Israel, for saying the word Arabs in Israel, and saying Palestine and Israel when, like, there is no actual resolution. It's like a reference to the Oslo Accords and the lines that have been drawn but not actually implemented. But when you're a Palestinian citizen of Israel, you need to say, because you need to, like, you feel like, and you say that a lot, Ibrahim, that you need to say that I don't live in the West Bank. I actually I can fly through Ben Gurion Airport. So you feel like you have to make that differentiation to say, no, I am different. I have privileges. I'm not Palestinian enough.
Yeah, and I think, that struggle, I also had it within me. It's like, am I Palestinian enough? But then, I try to dismantle it and bring to myself the understanding that what a peoplehood is. And I think the world has shifted that, created a reality where Palestinian is a political identity. It happens in Israel, it happens around the world, it happens within us, that we consider our identity on a political level.
Only. It is a political level.
Yeah, that it's only a political identity rather than we're a people. People have different communities within the same peoplehood. Different cultures evolve within the same peoplehood. We're not all the same. We don't all have the same reality, but we're still part of the people. It doesn't negate it. But Mahdi and his cousins have a different reality, but that's the fate that created it. This is the political reality that created it, but it doesn't disconnect us being part of the same people.
Yeah, that's totally okay. And something that also now, like, I thought about what you just said, and it's bad that we are relating the word Palestinian with the suffering. Like, the more you suffer, the more you Palestinian you are. And I think it's a reality that have been we're used to it. That you're more suffering, then you're more Palestinian. But we should not forget that Palestinians also did a great impact here in the national level and international level. Like, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of businessmen, there's a lot of researchers, and doctors, and they're doing great impact, and they are part of the Palestinian ecosystem, and they want to do good to the Palestinian communities. And I've saw these people, and they really want to like support in a good way the tech sector. They want to support, the evolving of the academical sector, and they want to give back to the Palestinian community, because they also feel Palestinians, even though that they are living far away from this land. And this is also very important, like to give back to the community, because you feel that you are obligated to this community. It's also kind of thing that makes those people feel Palestinians.
And now I guess it's a good time to talk about the last term that you used.
But I want to address the elephant in the room, though.
You want, please?
What?
In the beginning of our season 1, we talked a lot about the identity of being a Palestinian Israeli, which is the identity that Ibrahim likes to have, being part of the Palestinian people and part of the Israeli society at the same time. I'm where you're at about the importance of emphasizing us being Palestinian. And one day, inshallah, if there is equal rights, whether it's under whatever kind of states, and both identities can be carried at the same time, ahla wa sahla. I want to know, as someone else that is a Palestinian citizen of Israel, what are you seeing right now? Since we're going to talk about what you do, but you work with a lot of people from various different sectors and various different backgrounds. So are you seeing people with the same thing? Are there other people talking about being Palestinian Israeli, or is it Palestinian, and that's it?
We would like to take a moment and to thank our Patreon community. Without your support, UTTN would not be able to shed light on the things we are presenting and the activism on the ground. Your support means the world to us. So if you're not a subscriber, join us on patreon.com/thirdnarrative, and you'll be able to access some exclusive content that we will have there, as well as monthly Zoom sessions with us. So join now and be part of the community.
I think the recent circumstances have made the people here in Israel feel more Palestinian than ever. Like, I'm also a citizen of Israel. I respect the laws of Israel. I respect the ecosystem. I want to be part of that ecosystem, the high-tech ecosystem, the economy. I want to add, and I want to benefit. I want to give and want to take from that experience and ecosystem and knowledge that, and I think we should. And that's also kind of reality that I think saying that I'm only Palestinian and neglecting the entire reality that we are living also in Israel, when part of the Israeli society.
I didn't say neglect it.
Exactly. So, like, there is something in us that also related to the Israeli general ecosystem, even though that we hate it or love it. Like, regardless of you hate or love that, you're part of it, and that's a fact. But like, regarding your question, if what I see nowadays, and I can say I've been meeting a lot of professionals recently from the north to the south, and I feel that they feel a bit desperate recently, and they feel that they are judged even before they have opened their mouth. Like, like last time, one of the girls, she's a good professional programmer. She leading a team in one of the biggest companies in high-tech sector. And she told me, Mahdi, they keep talking about the war, and they keep talking about the war from one perspective, and my perspective, I cannot talk about my perspective, even though that it's totally humanity.
Humane,
It's like the like really humane and simple perspective about childs and all that, and starving people that were starving in Gaza and all that. She couldn't even talk about those things. And the war in the office, it's only taken from one perspective. Now, she told me that I feel it's either I leave my identity to keep my job, or keeping my job and leaving my identity. And she's struggling every day with that, being put being in the middle of that. And I've seen a lot of professionals have the same feelings and struggle every day. And the more they feel that, the more they feel Palestinian. because they've been judged as Palestinian. And I want to address one point here, that some of the people who might be watching us, maybe some of them also my friends from my Jewish friends, they might not like me identifying myself as Palestinian first. And I want to say one thing to that people. Why Jewish people allowed to say that they are Russians, that they are Americans, that they are British, that they are Polish, that they are Iraqis, Syrians, Lebanese. And me as Palestinian here, I'm only allowed to identify myself as generic Arab Israeli. So my question to them, like, why you are allowed to identify yourself as Iraqi and Irani and Syrian and Lebanese, and I'm not allowed to identify myself as part of the heritage, as part of the rituals of the Palestinian community across the borders, like West Bank, Gaza, and here in Israel. So those are the people who are angry about identifying myself as Palestinian, who are the most people who see me as Palestinian. Those are the people who see me the most as Palestinian.
Yeah. It's like, why do you act like a Palestinian? It's because I'm treated like, why do you say that you're Palestinian? It's because I'm treated like one.
Exactly. So they want me to identify myself as Israeli because they see me as Palestinian, see me as a threat. So they want to, feel relieved. Okay, now he said that he's Israeli. But he's seen as Palestinian, because at the beginning, if he saw me as an Israeli, he wouldn't care if I'm Russian or Palestinian or Iraqi or whatever.
And one thing I'll say on that before because we need to wrap the first segment.
Yeah.
We promise always our audience that we're going to keep these segments tight and concise, but
I don't remember promising.
Me and Amira are always going. We promised each other, I think, but I will say that the one thing I wanted to mention on the issue of jobs and the issue of Palestinian citizens of Israel in the workforce, there is a common feeling of you have to be the mature adult in the room all the time. Like there's
the considerations that you
and even just be the mature, even when we talk among each other, it's like you need to be mature. Right now, your colleagues are in trauma, they're in pain, they're feeling anger, and they're not in a place where they're thinking logically. They're not talking rationally. I need to breathe. I need to take it in, be mature, because I'm going to get burned otherwise. So I need to be mature. I need to absorb everything and remain the mature one in the room who will be composed, absorb it, and not say, because they lash out, but I'm not allowed.
And they're allowed.
Yeah, they're allowed to lash out. I'm not allowed to lash out. If I lash out, I'll get arrested, potentially.
Fired.
For sure fired, and then maybe arrested.
Fired.
But if somebody else does it and he lashes out, they say, no, he's saying it out of frustration. Look at what happened in the news yesterday. We saw this, we saw that. He's angry. He's allowed to be angry, and I'm not. It feels like we need to be, and there's a term for it in Hebrew, and I'm going to say it to our Jewish audience, this is what we need to be. The mature ones in the room who are responsible to keep the peace. It somehow became our job.
Yeah, it's like
otherwise it's an explosion in the workforce. And this is not a reality of a democracy where you want me to be equal. You're not showing me that I'm allowed to be equal, that I can say what I feel just like you say what you feel.
Yeah, integration versus assimilation.
Absolutely.
And your third word was?
It was initiator. And since I was a child, I've been initiating things. The first initiative I made was selling pencils to my
in school?
Yeah, in school to other kids only in the second grade. And
how much were you selling them for?
I was buying pencils in bulk and selling them to the kids who lost or forgot their pencils at home. And then in the third grade, I've been selling CDs. Like I used to buy a video game and
copy it,
and copy it into 4 or 5 copies and sell this to my friends. And then I've done a lot of initiatives until in the high school. I also started to collaborate with the HR companies and had like a kind of initiative based on sending waiters to different hotels And then in the also after I finished university, I've started to make startups. I've done one, and then I made a little money, and then made another one in cybersecurity and AI, and then another one in AI and legal tech. Both of them didn't success, but then I started, me and my friend, Harmony, and I found myself, it's more a social, community driven initiative, and I found myself doing much better in such initiatives, because I feel that I see myself in these initiatives. I see that we can make change from such initiatives more than thinking only about business driven interests. That's why I feel that I'm initiator.
And actually, that's a perfect segue to move to our second segment. Now that we got to know who is Mahdi, we want to know about what do you do, and in particular, the activism that you do, which is that you alluded into a little bit, which is the Harmony Project. So tell us a little bit about Harmony. What is Harmony? Why did you make this project? And what's the goal of this movement?
All right. So if the audience are wondering, I'm now a lawyer, and I finished my my computer degree, and I'm both.
I have to say, Mahdi is a part of a lot of things. He's a lawyer. He has like bunch of degrees. So, I think it's also good for parents to know that if your kid starts with a special needs class, it doesn't mean that he can't succeed in life. Look at this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's me, like, also on the professional side, but that's the thing that I've started to talk about when I mentioned the word initiator. We talked about Harmony community, and it's a place to speak a little bit about it, because it's a great initiative, and I'm really proud that I have, me and my friend Basil, initiated such a great professional platform for the Arab professionals here in Israel. We start from Israel. Hopefully, we can go outside to bring more Arabs into it. So Harmony community is a community, obviously, for the professional Arabs, for them to connect, network, and to make collaborations. This could be personal collaborations in the business level, and it could be in the social level, like giving back to the community and doing something good to the community. So this have started in the 2023. And I did a gathering for my friends after I finished the bar exam, like to celebrate it. And then at the end of that gathering, Basil came to me and he said, "Wow, I've enjoyed this. Like I met a new people. Like your friends are amazing. Like we had a great conversation. I didn't have such conversation before. Like AI, someone who have a neuroscience PhD degree. The other one is we talked about the violence in the Arab community. We talked about a lot of topics, and I know real amazing professionals. And I said, you know what? We can do something bigger. You bring your friends, I bring my friends, and also there were another a great lawyer. She called Lama. She was with us, and she told, "Okay, I'm joining you too." And she also said, "I'll bring my friends." And this was in March 2023. Then I just didn't think much about it. Then Basil called me after 2-3 months and said, "Let's do it. We thought about it. Let's do it." I said, "Okay. I bring 40 of my friends. You bring 40. Lama, you can bring also as much as you can from your friends, and let's do something bigger." And in August 2023, we did our first event. We call it Jid Bwaktak. You came at your time. It's a song.
At the right time.
Yeah. It's a song also, a popular song. So we did that event, and it's meant to be social event. It didn't mean to be professional event. And we finished that event. It was cool. People, discussed things. We did discussion tables, and people discussed different topics, and they enjoyed it. We had a lot of place to improve, but we knew that it's original idea. People enjoyed the atmosphere of that event. And then we realized that we did something more than a gathering and a social event. We have provided people something new to us, a network. And from that very beginning, we found that Harmony, before it even exists, like it was only a prototype, a trial. And we saw that Harmony has helped people from that very, very first event to get a job, and people collaborated in a startup, and other people, other participants have helped each other in a different professional levels. So we found, wow, we're doing something new, something amazing. And then we thought, let's just stop a little bit, think about that last event, and let's improve it for a really bigger event for not only for our friends, but for people who want to join from the public. Basil went to Argentina, traveled to Argentina. I was in Russia. In the 6th of October, I traveled to Russia.
Wow.
And Basil at that time was in Argentina. Now, the October 7th started, and we said, no, it's not the good time to continue with that initiative. Like, people felt that it's not the best time to do any social events because of the situation, because they didn't feel that it's all right to go to join social events, because it was depressing, people being killed and all that. So we said, okay, we're going to stop thinking about that initiative until the war ends. And then in December, people started calling us. You say, guys, we feel alone. We feel lonely at work. We wanna go back to life. We wanna have a real conversation. We wanna discuss things. We wanna take things out of our chests. And they start calling us. Let's do something. Like, do a gathering, anything, just for us to feel a bit to get out from that war atmosphere. And then we came up with the idea of El Finjan. And that was in late November or early December. And then Basil said, let's do an event. I said, let's call it El Finjan. Which means a coffee cup in English. And why that meaning is very important, because in Arabic, both Amira and Ibrahim, and maybe also most of the audience, the Finjan has a meaning in like we always say, let's meet on Finjan. It means let's like sit and talk calmly on Finjan, like on the coffee cup. Let's meet on a coffee cup. Now, it also have a discussion and calm meeting. Now, if you are discussing now with someone and you're fighting with someone and you're just swearing on each other, you tell them, calm down. Let's sit in Finjan. Let's sit on a coffee cup.
تعال نقعد
تعال نقعد على كاس قهوي. The Finjan has a meaning of discussion calmly with others and meeting others and hosting others. That's why we call it El Finjan. And the first Finjan was in Haifa, and the purpose of that Finjan was multi-professional, is to connect people and to get the benefit of that network, and so each one can help the other through that meeting and that program. We call it now El Finjan program. So El Finjan, I want to say one fact. We didn't know that we were going to make El Finjan event until the day before of that El Finjan. And why is that? Because it was hard to get participants. Like, we had easy to get 30 of our friends, but then we want another 50 to make that event. And it was so difficult. Like, we were calling people, please come, please join us, and they should pay for that, because we didn't have any money. Like, they should participate also in paying. And there's a lot of such events that other entities are doing for free. Why I should join you and paying money in much less quality event? But because they were our friends, and I really appreciate them. I really thank them now because of giving us the trust and the support at that early days. And now, Amira, El Finjan event is sold out 3 weeks before the date of the event, and in 2 days only. In 2 days, we are just declaring it, sending invitation. We are sold out almost 2-3 weeks ago. We have one soon in 2 or 3 weeks, and it's already sold out.
There's a massive waiting list, and people call and ask.
3,200 people registered to join El Finjan, to join Harmony community, and we are capable only to accept 150.
I want to ask you a question, or actually, I want to be like transparent. When Ibrahim and I were talking about what activists to bring and what initiatives to talk about, I wasn't too keen on having Harmony as me personally, as Amira, because in comparison to everything else, I was like, okay, humanitarian aid, activism in the West Bank, or I wanted everything to be political. I wanted everything, for the most part, to be political. So Ibrahim had to literally convince me. And I am biased. I'm not a 48 Palestinian. I'm a Jerusalemite. So I guess I want to know more. Why is it so important? What are the things other than responding to the need of people to network and to socialize. How is it so beneficial? Why now, and why Harmony?
Because the professionals are struggling in silence, and there is almost no place that they can meet other people, especially those who are working at big firms and companies. Now, in the big companies in Tel Aviv, I was part of one of the biggest law firm in Israel or in the Middle East. We were only there like about 10 Arabs within a 500 non-Arab lawyer. We didn't meet each other. We couldn't meet people. After finishing the university, we didn't meet new people. We couldn't collaborate with other people. We felt that we are left behind with the people who we met at the university or even before, and we couldn't meet new people. We have a really lack of professional network. Now, this is a very important point for any minority in the world, in the professional level and the personal level, is the ability to get to know new people from your community is a very important thing. It's a national need. Now, the Jewish people, for example, they go to the army, they have a great set of network, and then they are moving to the professional level. They're mostly surrounded by Jewish people. They have more language in common between each other, and they have more network between each other, which could help them at the personal level and at the professional level. Now, Arab professionals or Arab people don't have that opportunity that they had. That's why we should close the gap. That's why it's very needed and very important for us to have a communities, to have a place that we can expand our network and to get benefit from that network.
And I would like to add something, because I participated in the Finjan event as a participant. And as a Palestinian citizen of Israel, I feel, as someone who attended this, that it's kind of answered for a need that felt, not even just a need, an actual problem that exists within our community, which is because we're a minority, there is a perception that was created that because we're in a minority, we're a political minority, there's not many opportunities, not many resources. In order to succeed, there's got to be only a place for either me or you. It's either me or Mahdi. There's only going to be a space for one of us. So I will do what I can in order to make sure that it's me, not Mahdi. And we end up in a place where we actually harm one another. I have seen not once times where we've seen professionals from our community looking for collaborations and professionals from the Jewish community, not trusting other Palestinian citizens of Israel, or not wanting to collaborate with one another. No, it's either me or them. I can't support others. So we've gotten to a place where it has become, because we're in survival mode, the translation becomes, it's a survivor of the fittest. And it becomes a clash between us, rather than, if I succeed, he can also succeed, and he will succeed, and it uplifts me and it uplifts him, and we all uplift each other, and we become a stronger community standing in this reality and create more opportunities for one another in the job sector, that we're not only dependent on the Jewish sector to open these doors for us, that we can open doors for one another. And I felt that missing, and that, for me, as someone, it felt like it addressed that issue.
Yeah.
Especially when I was there and I'm like meeting someone from, and it's not just the North, because there's also that, we're all separate from one another. The North is alone. The Triangle is alone. The South is alone. Most of the people I spoke with were either from Jerusalem or Bedouins from the South in the last Harmony event that I attended. So it felt also a place where I wouldn't have met someone who's Bedouin from the South in another place for professionals. There was those places don't exist elsewhere for us to meet and to find partners from different communities. So that was, for me, on a personal level, something that was important.
I guess what I'm trying to ask, like, I understand what both of you are talking about, but we're not just talking about the political minority. You in the beginning said that one of the ways that you identified yourself was Palestinian, including yourself as part of the Palestinians living and the Palestinian cause from the river to the sea, and including diaspora and refugees. It's a big thing. And we talked about suffering. So I guess as a Jerusalemite, as someone who went to a Palestinian university in the West Bank, to Al-Quds University, as a Palestinian woman, also sitting alongside two Palestinian men that have freedom of movement, freedom of travel, that have the quote-unquote, those privileges that we talked about in the beginning of the episode. My answer is it political? How do we benefit from it? Like, okay, we're coming together. There is no way for us to come together. And as Palestinians, as any kind of minority, in any different kind of context, like in London, for example, or in Europe, or in the UK, or in the US, it's important. But what are we doing with it? Who's included? How are we benefiting the minorities? Are we just bringing together the professionals? How does it go back into the community? Not only the Palestinian citizen of Israel community. What about Jerusalem? I know you said that there are Jerusalemites in it, but how is it helping Jerusalemites and in their situation? Do you get political? Do you not get political? How are you benefiting me as someone who like might not attend these meetings? But I see it as building Palestinian power, which is something that me as Amira, I'm all for. I'm all supporting. But what are we doing with that power?
That's a very important question, and I want to make it very clear. We are not a political organization, and we don't have any political goals or purposes. Now, you have mentioned that we are a Palestinian community, and that's also not clear, because we have different type of groups that they can identify themselves as they wish. We have Armenian who speak Arabic, and we have Druze, we have Bedouin, we have Christian, we have like different types of groups. So we have really high diversity in our community, and we have majority of women, by the way, which we are also proud of. And we have people from the north to the south, even from Eilat. Professionals working in Eilat sometimes come to visit in the meetups when they are in the weekend. Now, that wasn't a random choice to be non-political organization. That was a conscious decision, because we feel that we are surrounded by so many political organizations, and everything in Israel is political. And wherever we go, we see like political activities, and everything is related somehow, indirectly or indirectly, to any political organization. And there's a lot of organization and people who are doing political job, and we respect that. We're fine with that. We don't judge anyone, but we choose to be more as a professional movement, as a professional organization. And that's because we found that there is a gap. We want to fill that gap. And that gap is the relief. People want to find a place that they can get some relief from all the stress and the tension around them, especially in the current circumstances. Now, I don't want to be naive, Amira. At the end, you are somehow connected to a political decision, or a political event, or political activity. But we don't engage in it politically. We try to engage in it professionally. Now, what I mean by that, I will give an example so you can understand, and understand what I mean, and also so you can I can answer your question when you said how I can benefit from Harmony, even though that I'm not into that community. Now, Harmony is not only come and network and know other people and collaborate and leverage the network for your personal purposes. We also use that community to leverage the professionals in that community to benefit the bigger community, the Arab society here in Israel. And the best example I can give you in this regards is HarmonySOS. Now, HarmonySOS is a tool and an application that we have built during the last war with Iran. Now, in the last war with Iran, we have seen that the war started suddenly, and the Arab community found itself not ready for that war. We were totally neglected in all terms, and especially in terms of safety. The shelters in the Arab community wasn't opened, and the shelters they weren't ready for the war, and they are not even bomb shelters. Now, there is zero bomb shelters in the Arabian cities and villages, while there is so many in the neighbor Jewish community in cities and settlements.
So when you say Arab communities, do you mean non-Jewish?
I mean, yeah, mostly non-Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah. Even Druze villages, they have also lack of shelters.
So not only Palestinian
Yeah,
citizens, Israel.
exactly. Not only them, and even Druze villages as also some have also felt neglected. Now, so what we have to do with that? Like instead of whining and complaining about the current situation, about the shelters and we're not safe and all that, and doing a political activity and a protest and whatever you think about it in a political way, we found a different way. We said, let's deal with it professionally. So what we have made is an application, HarmonySOS, which tells you when you get into that application, it tells you where is the closest shelter to you. Now, maybe Ibrahim can say, okay, but Waze and Google Maps has the same feature. No, it's not. It's the same feature if you are in Tel Aviv, but it's not the same feature if you are in Tamra, where a woman and girls have been killed because of a missile came from Iran. So if you go to Tamra, Ibrahim, and you write the word shelter, miklat in Hebrew, or malja in Arabic, you will find no references for any shelters around you, even though that there some exist. But if you go to Tel Aviv and you enter Google Maps or Waze, you write the word shelter, you will find the closest shelter to you.
Whose responsibility is it supposed to be? Finding, like, is it a municipal thing? Like, are the non-Jewish or Arab towns, is it the municipal, on a municipal level, the lack of shelters, or is it a state?
It's a state.
It's the state.
It's discrimination. It's absolutely discrimination us and neglecting us. And the state didn't give us the same resources that it gave to the other Jewish cities and villages, and they neglected us. There's zero bomb shelters. It's totally discrimination against the Arab community and neglecting our safety. Now, also in the municipal level, there is a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we went to Nazareth, for example, and we said, open the shelters. Why didn't open the shelters? They said, no, there is computers in that shelters used in schools. I don't want to be able to damage that computers. What the hell? You didn't want to open the shelter for the people because you're afraid that that these people could cause damage to the computer. Take the computers off somewhere else. They didn't want to put any effort to open that shelter. So there is a responsibility on them. But also, we didn't, I'm saying, we didn't whine and complain. We just went to that municipal key figures and we pressed the pressure on them. Open that shelters. You wanna need help with moving things? We will move things. You wanna help with cleaning things? We will clean things. Most importantly, open this shelter. So we have opened the shelters in Nazareth and opened the shelters in other places and cities and villages in the Arab community. And after we have opened the application, we start inserting the coordinations of the shelters. Now, if you are in Nazareth and you see that Nazareth is not showing there, and they call us, why Nazareth is not there? Oh, I'm sorry, you're the leaders in Nazareth didn't want to open the responsible guy of Nazareth didn't want to open this because of the computer. So the people themselves, the citizens, they went to and brought that pressure. So in 48 hours, we've opened the shelters because of direct and indirect pressure. And we collected the data and we put it into that application. And Amira, I want to say one thing. We have made a campaign. There is a professional girl who's doing PhD called Munya Masalha. She did a campaign. She did PhD. She has nothing to do with marketing. She did a campaign with other great marketing guys. And that campaign have reached about 500,000 of the Arabian community in Israel. We have reached 500,000 citizens in Israel through this campaign, and this was the biggest campaign an organization can make with $0 invested.
I don't want to get me wrong. I'm not undermining or underestimating the capabilities or the effect or what you're doing. I'm kind of like playing devil's advocate in a way, or telling you what we're going to get into needs in a second, but telling you basically what I expect. It's like I can't do something and I feel like you are able to do what I can't do. So that's where my question was coming from. But now that you explain that, I'm interested to know how, like, because I don't think that there's anything that's not political. Like even apolitical organizations, institutions, whatever, they're always like, specifically in our context, a plate of hummus is political. Like everything is political. So I'm wondering how the conversations go when they shift towards opinions in the network. Like when you wanted to make the while making, I know it's maybe not something that you were paying attention to because it was literally the name HarmonySOS. It was an SOS emergency situation. But what about, like, was there a debate of wording? What do we use? What do we are we like? Was there ever someone who asked for a statement about Gaza? Was there like? Do these come up? Is there a need? Because you said that the community feels like it's isolated, so it wants to come together. Have you reached that? Do you think that there is something cooking? People want to talk about it, regardless of what you think or they think. But is there something popping up?
I think that the DNA of Harmony is more in the professional side. Not that they are avoiding having a political conversations or discussions, but I think that they came for different purposes to Harmony. They want to find a professional people and to have a network that they can benefit from, and to feel kind of belonging to a professional community more than to discuss political topics. Because I think there's enough platforms so they can express those opinions. Maybe, and I don't know if there is enough, but I'm saying that maybe there's enough such platforms, but they come for specific purposes, and I don't think the purpose of why they are coming is political. And to prove that, I'm kind of saying that we have increasing number of people from different backgrounds. I don't know any of them, and any of that people, professional people who come to Harmony. I don't know any of that people political opinions. I can't recall any political conversation with any of them. There is 520 professional.
It's very hard for me to believe.
Yeah. And I know it's like hard. Why you're not talking politics?
Not about why, that how does it not come up?
I don't know.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna go and we're gonna join their next Finjan, and we're gonna experience it. I know it's sold out, but I'm sure Mahdi will hook us up with some 2 extra seats, and we will be there on the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
and we'll meet the community.
Amira, if you're really wondering, I mean, I really advise you to come to the next Finjan. It will be in Nazareth, and I think you will feel the atmosphere, like why people are coming, and then you might have a sense of an answer.
It's a very diplomatic way to shut me up, but okay, I'll take it. We're running out of time. Fine.
We'll book the dates. We'll book the dates. I mean, no, I understand both sides of this, because in one hand, particularly from someone who's in the Jerusalemite experience, where you're
Jerusalemite.
Any other experience than the 48er experience, the Palestinian citizen Israel experience, there is that looking at what's happening to the Palestinian community in Israel and asking, where is the balance between the social and the political, where in somebody else's reality there's no separation whatsoever.
Also in the 48 reality, there's no separation.
And there isn't, but because it's tied to you, as someone who's from that community, you do sometimes look for a way out. You don't want every conversation, every professional thing that you do, always coming back to your politics.
But we said that there's so much silencing in professional fields, in work. Wait, let me finish. There's so much silencing. If I worked in a tech company or in a law firm where you said that the minority of people working there, and you have to be the grown-up in the room. So when we meet, I would like not to be the grown-up in the room and to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
The fact that we have the ability to talk also about other things is also important.
Also about it.
Yeah, I mean, we deserve a platform that is not political, and we deserve a place to speak about things that they are not political. We deserve a place to speak about AI. We deserve a space to a platform to speak about work-life balance, mental health, other things. Now, I know in Israel everything is political. I know we're in a situation that everything has somehow related to any political topic. But we're trying to keep the political stress and tension out of the community and to focus more in the professional aspects. Now, regarding, taking out the tension and to people or the professionals can take things out of their chest and speak up about their life at work and how they feel a bit like they don't belong to that space or work, I think in Harmony they have a space to speak about this. Like we have a mental health discussion table where people can share these feelings in a professional manners. Now they don't have to say, I'm supporting this party, I'm supporting that party. I don't know what's in October 7 is like this and that. No, they don't have to speak these things, but they can share and take things out of their chests in a specific manners and professional manners in a specific table. We have mental health tables, we have AI tables, we have a lot of different things that people can really take
They have a
things out
podcast
of their
table,
chest.
by the way.
Yeah, and also we have podcast tables. We also can talk about things. And if someone says something is political, it's not the end of the world. It's his right, and he can share what he wants to share. But us as an organization, we don't have any political opinion, and we're trying to keep our work professional and to focus to leverage the professionals' abilities to the benefit of them and to the bigger community.
I mean, in my table, the conversations talked about the political reality, but it wasn't. But it wasn't the topic. Like what I felt is that, at least not every time that's the topic. Okay, if I have something about it within my own thing, I want to talk about it, but it's not the essence of the topic. And there are, all the political parties that we have, all these other places that are super political. It's like, I felt it was a breath of fresh air, because we're always brought back as a community here to how it connects to our politics. How does it connect to you politically? You're judged by your politics at all times. So it's like, khalas. Can we talk about it as people who work for a second? It also becomes exhausting to be viewed or scaled on your politics within your own peers, even on a professional level. So that was a little bit of a, I don't need to talk about it again and again, even now. Like it's good to have that gap once in a while, I felt.
I totally agree.
But in the same time, you guys should definitely, because I agree with Amira, it needs to address people's feelings. It needs to be a place that talks about it within the community. And the rest of the Palestinian, it's important for other people from within the peoplehood to see not just what is this particular community from the peoplehood does, but also how is it still part of the macro.
Exactly. And Ibrahim, we have done during the war, not only HarmonySOS application, we made a psychologically group, support groups to support people in need and they felt like mentally challenged and depression and tension.
Okay.
We have done that, and a lot of people registered. We have 3 or 4 groups, students and professionals and people who was not from the community only, people from outside. And we also have done something very important to mention, that is advice, taken advice from a professional. And we've built a system that everyone who need a professional advice, like legal advice or accounting advice, because of the war, there is a lot of damages to the businesses and damages to houses and damages to the people themselves, and they need advice how to claim their rights from the state. Now we opened a specific platform for that people to ask us questions, and the professionals in our community have replied to these questions professionally. Now that's also giving back to the community and also being part of the circumstance situation. Now we are not neglecting what's happening. We are addressing what's happening with our professional manners and tools. And this is
okay. That's a different thing. That's really different. Like, for example, I would say that's very needed in Jerusalem, specifically in East Jerusalem, where Palestinians don't know their rights. So if they could ask like a lawyer or an accountant, or what as someone who's not a citizen but a resident, what can I get? So I think we can disagree respectfully, the same way I assume they disagree respectfully in Harmony, but at the same time also appreciate the work that
thank you
that you've been done, and we will go to Finjan, inshallah. And if not the upcoming one, maybe the next one.
Absolutely, we'd love to have you in Finjan, and maybe you could be in one of the discussion tables, and you'll see the atmosphere, feel it from first hand.
Let's move to the next segment.
And now it's a great way to move to our third segment, which is needs, where we ask each of our guests, what are their needs? What are the things that they need, their organizations, their institutions need in order to elevate and develop and take the next steps and maintain their work? So what's your needs as Harmony?
Sustainability. We want to be sustainable. Now in Harmony, we are all volunteers, 60 of numbers, and we have 520 members who also gives back to the community Harmony community and to the larger community. But we have 60 volunteers. Me, myself, I'm a volunteer, full-time job volunteering in Harmony. And this could not stay like this forever. We need to be sustainable. And we're working on that in a business level. Like we're people paying for the activities we are doing. And we're trying also to get some donors. Now, it's very important for us, Ibrahim and Amira, to stay independent.
How would we get that?
Yeah. and that's very important for us. And why is that? It's because there is a lot of organizations who want to take control and, to try to pass their agenda from like
their politics.
Not only control of us, like control of different organizations in the Arab community, and want to pass specific agenda. I'm not saying that all of them have agenda. I'm not saying that all organizations do have agenda. I'm saying that I will give you a story so you can understand. Weeks ago, we've met one of the key figures who are leading big organizations that support smaller organizations. He have a big amount of money, and that's the purpose of that organization is to support other smaller initiatives, so it can help the community and the people. And we started to explain to him about the community. What's the very first question he asked us? Is there any Jewish with you? We say no. We are only Arabs, and we want to stay like we want to keep the community an Arab community because we know the needs and we know how to handle and address that needs and to give back to the community. But we have said sometimes we also bring lecturers who are Jewish people to get from their experience and to benefit also from their experience. Now, later I started to continue my speech, and I told him everything about Harmony. He said, "Wow, you're doing an amazing initiative, and all of that you've done with zero budget. That's amazing. That's a big numbers. Never done that. Even much bigger organizations." But he said, "For us to empower you, I think you need to be under a bigger organization."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "But why? I mean, what you mean?" He said, "There's a bigger resources. We can, give their resources much easier way." And me and my friend volunteering with us directly said, "No, we are not. We don't want to be under a specific organization." And I said, "Okay, but anyway, what you mean? Like, give me an example." He said, and he mentioned few big, well-established Jewish-based organizations. And I said, "No, I'm sorry. I want to stay independent. The Arabs deserve here in the community in Israel. We deserve an organization that it's independent and fully Arab, and that's fine, and that's okay." The problem that they see that organization as a threat. Like
it's okay to have something that it's all
yeah,
Jewish.
It's
God
okay.
forbid you do something all Arab.
Exactly, and the problem that to be legitimate in that country, in that state, you should be under an umbrella that is Jewish or somehow related to the state. So we said, "Thank you so much," and the rest of the story, we didn't get any fund from that organization. But when I'm trying to
familiar,
yeah. So what I'm trying to say that we are struggling to stay sustainable. We're trying to do this in the both funding and business level. That's in the.
Can you be more specific? What can somebody listening to this? How can they help you, Harmony, the community become more sustainable? Is there a specific action that they can take?
Yeah, we need first of all, finding us a place or hub to do our activities is very important. Some equipment like cameras and some tools that we can use it in our events. Some collaborations with bigger entities around the world, not only in Israel. Could be in Israel, could be also around the world, that we can, exchange experience between our professionals and professionals outside. We have different programs. Anyone can visit our website, HarmonyNetwork.org, and they can find information about our programs, and they maybe identify with some of the programs and maybe can support us with the experience, tools, and even fund some of that to be sponsoring us or something. But we believe also in mutual benefit. Like every collaboration we have done with any we've done several collaborations with different organizations. We also make sure that organization also get benefit from the activity that we are doing together. So we can also seek the mutual benefit. And we hope we can, stay sustainable, because the idea of harmony and the sustainability of harmony is very important for us. It's very important for the community to leverage the power of that professionals that enlarge that belongs to that community.
So for our audience, if anybody knows of a venue space that would be willing to host the Harmony community in the north, in the center, in the south, you can reach out to us or to Harmony directly on their website. Also, for anyone who works for any big companies around the world, God knows on high tech, you've mentioned tech so much, but it's important to remind our audience that we're 21 of the population in Israel, but under 5% of high tech. Even though in other fields we excel, in medicine, we're 25% of doctors and 30% of nurses, but still in the leading field in this country's economy, tech, we're under 5%. So any collaborations that would uplift that and and maybe collaborations with tech companies around the world, guys, this is the time. Let's help our community get more opportunities, increase opportunities because there are so many people who study tech, who don't have the resources or the opportunity to join in the workforce in tech, and help our community to build up.
Yeah, it's very important to emphasize that we're not only tech, we're like
definitely,
we are really
just because of that particular
that particular issue. And I have to say also that we're struggling to be in higher positions. Like even those who are lawyers and doctors and in the medicine, and we are really
There's a glass ceiling.
there is like kind of a top that we cannot exceed, and we wanna break that wall, and also for the professionals to get to be in higher positions, because they deserve that. I've been seeing professionals through that last 2 years. They're amazing people. They're well experienced, and they can provide a lot to the workspace and to the entire community.
Can I end with something very improvised?
Yeah.
If you could give a message بالعربي, one short sentence, what would it be?
إنه في هنا فلسطينية في الداخل اللي كثير متحمسين يعرفوا عرب كمان خارج هاي البلاد، ويعملوا تعاونات مع هالعرب بشكل مهني يعني. فرسالتي إلى الجميع يعني إنه اطلعوا علينا، يعرفونا أكتر، يفهموا مين إحنا. بفكر ممكن كثير نستفيد من بعض.
Anything else you want to add, Amira?
No, I think it was very interesting. I think it was a great discussion, removing anything else. I think the dynamic also was great. I really hope our listeners found it interesting, benefited, found themselves, or might visit. I hope you do visit Harmony website. That would be linked in the description of this episode. And follow us on all social media platforms, on all podcast platforms. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/thirdnarrative. And we'll see you next time on another episode of UTTN, the podcast.